Hey, thought I saw you guys in there. Guess not. Guess I'm just hallucinating. How are you guys? How's everyone doing? Spectacular? Let me give myself a round of applause. How about that? Oh, thank you guys. Oh, you guys are too kind. Thank you so much. Wow, you did not know. You didn't stop. Stop. Guys, stop, please, everyone. How dare you? Goku, the Thunderdome. The Thunderdome is a weekly art battle that we have. We got 48 hours to make a piece of art based on a prompt. Then we have guest judges come in and everyone gets wrecked. Absolutely slapped around because we don't pull punches in the Thunderdome. Pardon me over here. I'm just trying to get my background set up. I always forget something. I don't know if it'd be a stream if everything went completely fine. But we're gonna play American Gladiators in the background today again. Yoink, there we go. That's what's up. A nice little hint of American Gladiators. How about that? Jake has to wait 15 minutes. Oh, okay, hold up. Sorry, I'm trying to fix things because yeah, George is ruthless, dude. He said he's gonna come on here. He told me specifically he's trying to make someone jump off a bridge. And I'm like, George, that's crazy, dude. And he said, that's just how I feel. Just how I feel, man. I was like, all right, dude, well, you know, I'll try and take it easy. What up, Steffi? Didn't stream because your programs decided to not work. Oh, that's the worst. Hey, guys, guess what? Breaking news. The attic cam is back. I fixed it. I fixed the attic cam. And hopefully it stays that way. All right. Hey, it's Jared. What's up, Jared? We got Nanad, we got Xander, Joshua Barron, Sad Cop, Goku, Steffi. We got the gang here. Welcome, gang. Just fixing a couple things while we get ready to go. And we've got George today. I'm excited. Ever since we did the collab, I think we did our collab and it sold and it was super fun working with George, but then I don't think we've ever talked actually in person. So I think we've just done, and that's basically everyone that I have on stream. It's like, hey, I've talked to you for months. I've talked to you for months on Twitter, but have never actually spoken to you. So hi. And so far it's turned out pretty good. Xander had a bunch of fun. Hell yeah. I like doing these prompts because it's fun seeing you guys do different types, having you stretch outside your comfort zone. It's fun to watch. Okay. What do we have for kombucha today, you may ask? Well, we have a special day today. We've got wild berry ginger. Ta-da. It's got the gold foil. They went extra on this packaging. It's actually pretty sweet. Let's give it a taste. Five out of 10 on the mouthfeel. 8 out of 10 on the flavor. Oh, that's good. That's a banger. That's a new favorite for sure. That and blueberry. I guess I'm a berry man. All right. You know what? Enough talking about berries. Let's bring George on. What do you say about that? George.
Hello.
We're alive.
Let's go. I was watching the pre-show.
Let's fucking go. How are you, man?
I'm super excited. Very happy to be on. Excited to look at some work. I haven't seen one of these streams before, so you're gonna have to take the lead and guide me through all this stuff. But
Can do.
I am looking forward to it.
It's super simple. Are you on the Discord?
I am.
Okay.
Or I'm not. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. I thought I was.
No worries. I'm gonna pop it in chat, just so everyone has it. And there's a channel called Thunderdome, and that's where all the submissions are. So basically, what we do is we just look at everyone's art, say what we think, critiques or praise, and then kind of rank them in your mind. And at the end, we'll go through and we'll say what our top 3 are.
Sounds good. This Discord looks awesome.
Thanks, man.
Okay. Which channel did you say it was in?
Thunderdome. It's in the courtyard.
Yes, I see it. All right. I'm there.
Sweet.
Whoa, this is cool.
Now, if you scroll up, you got my post with your face on it, and then that's where the submissions start.
Excellent. I see it.
Hell yeah. So, let's dive right into it. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Cool. ASMR stream, Josh? Yeah. I should do an George, have you ever done an ASMR stream?
No, people actually, before I started streaming, told me that I had a really boring voice.
A boring
voice? I've never really tried. But you know, it's kind of monotone. It's very low.
That's harsh. I think your voice is beautiful, George.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, it was one of my clients too. I was doing I've told this story a few times now, but it was one of my clients. I was doing a pitch for them. Like I was pitching their new logo that I just worked on, and they were super happy with it. And then afterwards, they were like, "Presentation was awesome. Love the logo, but you got to work on that voice because it sounded like you wanted to die the whole time." But
did you work on it, or did you?
No. No, it's exactly the same.
Okay,
I was like, yeah,
good.
Cool.
That's such harsh feedback. Hey, we love the work that you do, but you as a person, deeply flawed. You're gonna need to work on it.
For real.
Oh, that's funny. See, I'm the opposite. I think my wife and her family were like, "Oh, you have such a good voice," and I've just hated listening to myself my entire life. I think my voice is terrible. So.
Well, I would say otherwise as well.
Oh, thanks, man. I'm just fishing for compliments.
This stream is really cool, by the way.
Thanks.
I've been like looking. I like the whole setup, the inside jokes, all of the. It seems like you were made for streaming, so I'm very excited to do this.
I appreciate it, man. I'm trying to have fun and trying to bring something good to the community. Because
Absolutely.
the reason this whole art battle thing started was because everyone was doing shill threads, and everyone was so upset about shill threads, right? And because it's just soulless, you're just pinning your work on the wall, right? And so I'm like, okay, well, what can I do to help people and like unknown artists who are doing good work get their work out there and be shown without having to just post on a billion threads, and for people who probably are just trying to gain followers for the most part.
Right.
And I was watching Kenny Beats stream, and he has his beat battle, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, if we do an art battle, then even so, if someone has 50 followers, they can still get their art shown if it's good enough, if like the community votes on it and stuff. So
that's true. That's brilliant. Love it.
Thanks, man. Trying to make it happen. So let's jump into it. First one up.
No.
Do the Thunderdome. Oh, there we go. I just didn't put an image on my stream deck. Okay, Thunderdome. First up, we got Robert Monroe. And you can, since the stream's on a delay, George, you can either, oh, I forgot to fix the chat on this screen. Oh, well. You can either follow along in the Discord, which will be real time, and we can just talk through what we're seeing, or you can watch the stream. But
yeah,
either one.
I got his work pulled up right now.
Cool.
All right. So How much time do we get? How does this work?
As much time as we need. Usually what ends
Yeah.
up happening is we spend way too much time on the first few and then have to rush at the end.
Oh, perfect.
So,
All right.
so maybe
I'll keep that in mind.
yeah, maybe a steady clip, but
Mhm.
whatever's fun, honestly.
Okay. Cool. I'll let you take the lead on the first one,
Sure
and
thing.
I'll follow you.
So Robert, let me see. He wrote something. Robert wrote, presenting How Long Do You Got? A meditation for the Thunderdome. Let me pause the music because I know one special thing about Robert is he writes all this piano music. He's a
Oh, I
a
love
pianist
that.
and he does really good compositions. He's submitted a couple before with his art. So he said, I wanted to explore sheet music symbology as that is my specialty. We have a simple eighth note that inside the note head has the entire piece of music written that you hear. Everything is written and drawn by me. Oh, I see it now. I didn't
Yeah, I
see it
see the
before.
note.
I didn't understand that the rotating sheet music was the bottom part of the note.
Yeah, it's very abstract, which is nice too, because I think it's a clever way to incorporate typography since that's the theme, right?
Yep.
And I kind of got the, I guess, R. Whether or not that was intentional. To me, when I saw it, it looked like an R. It could be an 8. I mean, I guess both of those kind of work, but I definitely feel typography from this because it is taking like abstract shapes to form a symbol. So,
And I did okay the use of symbols by themselves, like punctuation, and I guess an eighth note would count as a symbol. But
yeah,
I'm with you. I read it as an R.
yeah.
The top part that for sure has a name that I don't know, but the top part of the eighth note,
I think it's a flag.
a flag.
Yeah.
Look at you, George. Are you a musician?
I played piano well, I used to play piano, so I could be totally wrong.
Nice.
I don't really remember.
Well, we'll go unless Robert says something else. We're calling it a flag because that sounds about right to me.
hmm
Yeah, I think that if that connected to the bottom part a little bit better, it would read more on a first glance as an eighth note. But I like the idea of you putting the sheet music that's playing in the piece on the piece. And it's got all the scribbles on top, which look like tempo. And then the order in the middle there. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I'm really bad at music theory and stuff and sheet music.
I mean, even like concept aside, visually, I think this is very stunning. So, like the really harsh contrast between the top with what I'll call the R shape and the thin strokes of all of the sheet music, I think visually looks really appealing. There's a lot of texture going on, not only through the symbols but through the texture in the background that, in my eyes, kind of fits the music that's playing. It's very soft. I think the slow pace of that rotation really kind of balances out the more jumpy movement from the flag, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'm really liking the texture. Looks like watercolor on it. I think that Robert, I think that if you go back to work on this as a second iteration based on our feedback, I think my main overarching feedback would be try and make the flag more cohesive with what's going on in the bottom left. Because if you can see my mouse, this all has very sharp lines. And I understand it has to be like that because it's sheet music. And then the flag is just a big, thick watercolor stroke. So if these could blend into each other, I think you'd have a better time reading the eighth note. And I think you would also have a more cohesive piece that all feels like it belongs together rather than a two-sectioned piece. But I love I love the creativity that you are using with it. So nice work, man.
This is a great start. I really like this.
Definitely. It's so crazy what kind of art people will come up with for 48 hours and just a random prompt. Like I'm continually impressed by the kind of stuff that gets submitted.
Yeah. And that's something to keep in mind too, is the timeline. You said it was basically 2 days to work on this whole thing, which especially if you have a full-time job or obligations outside of your work, you know?
Yeah.
Really incredible. Not really something I'd be able to do on my own.
Right? Yeah, it's a crunch and it's a stretch. Lukefish, by the way, thank you for the Prime, my dude. Really appreciate it. Hello, fam. Hello, fam, back to you. All right, George. Next up, we got Domingo, and I'm going to pop this music back on.
Sure. Everyone's saying caw in the chat.
There's a lot. Did someone do the crow cam? I don't think they did.
People are asking, where's the cam?
Dude, the cam's not down. Oh, shit, it is down. George, 1 second.
Oh, do what you got to do. I want to see this.
I set it up, but then I forgot to re-enable the attic cam on Twitch. So let me go back in the settings. Thank you, guys. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Oh, it would be terrible of me to not let you guys derail the stream every 5 minutes. Let me go and derail the stream so I can fix that for you guys.
I love it. I love it. I love the chaos.
There's a lot of chaos in here. Okay, viewer rewards, channel points, manage, activated. All right, there you guys go. Hey, but guess what? Your surprise attack is fucking lost on me now. I've got my Nerf gun ready to go. And George, check this out, dude. Backup ammo. Fuck.
Not gonna kill me this time.
I didn't see any crows.
My gun jammed. My gun jammed and I missed all of my shots.
The crows didn't show up.
What?
Yeah, you were just shooting at air.
I didn't even look for the crows. I thought I fixed the crow cam, dude. I'm so upset. Okay.
That is amazing, though.
Well, then I was
that
angle. Now I just look like a fucking idiot.
I love it, dude.
Here.
The camera. Wow.
Oh, I know why. Here, there we go. Ah!
What is that?
Those are all my overlays.
Okay.
all at once. Oh no. What a disaster. What a disaster this stream is turning out to be.
No, this is amazing. That is the most intense collection of overlays I've ever seen.
Here, George, since you're a fellow streamer, let me take a second and let me go through the attic cams with you, just because it's fun.
Yes, please.
Wait.
I am a streamer, but I am very much so an amateur at this.
Okay, so
all of this is very cool.
All right, we're on the attic cam now. Excuse
Looks
me.
like surveillance.
Yep, so this is the attic cam. First, we've got monkey flip.
Unbelievable. What would trigger this?
So they redeem channel points, and then there's a text command, and when they type monkey into chat with their channel point redemption, it will trigger this scene.
Oh my goodness.
And then here's the crows. I'm not gonna fight them because I know these ones are fake.
Yeah.
And they get vicious at the end here.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. Whoa. They're breaking the screen.
Yeah, and then we have Alien Dance Party. Classic Alien Dance Party.
That's the one that caught my eye. when all of them
Dude,
are
the
playing
one
at
on the
once.
right is ballin'. The one on the right with like the stripe, the yellow and black stripe. Look at those moves.
Yeah. Out of this world.
Incredible. And then it goes back to my face cam, so. Ta-da!
I love it.
Welcome to the attic, George.
Thank you so much. What an honor. I didn't even have to spend any points to see those.
Nope.
There we go.
All you had to do is just waste 10 minutes of your life.
Yeah, seriously.
What a bargain.
All right.
Back into it. Next up, we've got Domingo. Domingo did an awesome fashion piece for Steffi's. So let me pop back to the dome. Right there. Oh no. I'm gonna take off alerts for a second. I neglected to fix my chat, so. Okay, what do we got? Type is one of my favorite subjects to work. Here's my take to the Thunderdome challenge. A maze. Okay, so it says a maze. I wonder what Domingo made this in.
Looks like Procreate. Or, yeah, no, it looks like Procreate.
Yeah.
Brushes.
There's some...
The brushes themselves, I really like. I like the kind of smear, thin line texture.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to things like, I guess, more of the more subtle details, like in the background,
Yeah.
I think that kind of brushstroke behind the typography maybe feels a little bit lazy because of the difference in texture, whereas like bunch of texture on the type and then behind it just is kind of flat, right?
Yeah.
So I think having some sort of texture, kind of like in the previous graphic we saw where there was texture incorporated kind of throughout everything, and it just helps tie in the entire composition, right?
Yep. I agree. I think some texture back there would go a long ways. And Domingo's clearly done a lot of work to add. I don't know how much is part of the brush set, right? And how much is part of the post-processing. But there's some like light effects, especially on the A and the M on the right side there. And so that three-dimensionality, I would like to see it. I would like to see some shadow, I guess is what I'm saying. It looks like it pops off the background a little bit, but not entirely. It's kind of in a middle ground where it's not 3D, but it's not quite 2D. And so I think a little bit more cohesion with the background would be good, exactly to your point.
Yeah. Or I would even maybe suggest like you can kind of take it two ways. You could go in having a lot of texture as the composition, or if you'd really just pull back on the background. So like sometimes if I have typography that is very, I guess, intense or has a lot of detail to it, sometimes I'll opt to just having like plain white background with some noise or something very subtle just to let the type stand out on its own. But ideally you want to go in one direction, whereas this one currently, because of that brush in the background, almost feels like it's in the middle and it hasn't really picked a side that it wants to be on, right?
Yep.
But the red is cool. Having some color in the background makes it pop a little bit.
Yeah, I think the
kind of depends on what you're going for, but yeah.
Yeah, I think the red and black and white is all good. For me, when I first looked at it, the legibility of it was tough for me.
The A is kind of tough
because the A looks like a T.
It does. Yeah.
But I think you could fix that with this connection point here on the top right. If that was a bit more connected downwards, I think it would look less like a T, because this whole swatch on the right leg of it gets kind of lost just because it's a little bit less prominent than the rest of the A. But now that I know what it says, I can read what it says. But at the beginning, I had a little trouble.
I agree. Just Yeah, obviously the anatomy when you get a stroke that takes that much attention um, from the A, and it seems like it almost the brushstroke pushes you towards the direction of like the left side of the A, which is what makes you take that stroke and see it as a T instead, right? So you'd have to. I mean, honestly, if you just connect one of the pieces by just curving it into it, right, rather than having it flick upwards, I think that would probably solve the problem, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, but great work, Domingo. I like it.
Yeah, the texture is awesome on the type itself, and yeah, the overall, I guess like the negative space, the spacing in between the letters feels very balanced. So I would say it's a success in that sense.
And my clients are always telling me to make things pop, and this pops. So
It definitely pops.
I think you'd make some clients happy.
100%.
All right, True Noir next up. True Noir won Steffi's contest, and I think that was last week. My brain just doesn't quite work. Steffi, was it last week? I know you're in chat, so let me know. True Noir, here we go. Bingo. What does True Noir say? The memories of bliss get blurred between the hours. The kisses that we shared are now memories of ours. The image of your eyes is now faded into the darkness. I'm alone all over again. This night we have zero love and no more flowers. The piece is called Zero Love, No More Flowers. Hey. Later, Rye. Thanks for dropping by, dude. Classic True Noir. But True Noir, you added green into your piece. Are you okay, man? So True Noir specializes in the white, and you see the pink and the purple. And so to see green in a True Noir piece is like, it's got me thrown off, but I love it. It complements the piece really well.
I agree. Yeah, it definitely brings attention to the center. I will say one thing. I kind of lost it took me a minute to see the actual head of the rose. And this is kind of dependent on what you want to bring focus to, but if you wanted the attention to be more towards, I guess, the focal point of the rose itself, it might be nice to have a little bit more contrast. Maybe using the white if you want to pull from the same color palette to highlight the shape of that object. But otherwise, I'm not really too bothered by it. Like I think the green just on its own adds a lot of. It feels very refreshing, right?
Right.
The shapes are nice. I like the gradients, and the typography itself is very solid. I love black letter type, especially. So I think it looks good.
Same here. I wonder if True Noir, you're in here. True Noir, did you make this from scratch? Is this from the ground up zero? Because it looks really good. I think you did a great job with the bevel on it and the form of the zero. And I agree with George. I think that first of all, I want to see you use more green or like color pops to accent certain things like this. I think that would be really interesting to see in your pieces. But it is such a contrast, and this is what George was saying too. You got to be really careful where you use it for what you want to draw your attention to. I think it does well in this one because it's like kind of drawing your attention to the center, but it does misbalance the head of the rose a little bit. So.
But I will say I like that in the area where there is the kind of leaves, I really enjoy how having that single leaf go on top of everything. So you see like it kind of passes over the type, really pulls everything together with like the two being connected and there actually being depth or space in between the two, right? Because you can see the rose going like kind of weaving under and over everything. And I always love seeing stuff like that where you feel like you can reach in and grab it if you wanted to, right?
Yeah, the three-dimensionality is awesome. Did a really good job on that, Nora.
Yeah.
Great work.
I'm curious too. Do we pick one winner out of all of these?
What do you
Do
want?
we have honorable mentions?
What do you want
we...
to do? I haven't announced prizes yet. Usually we do a top 3.
Okay, top 3
So top 3 works for me.
works for me.
And let's say first gets 20 TES and second gets 10, and then third just gets their medal. Oh,
Okay.
George, have you seen the medals that I made?
Show me.
Check this out. Let me not dox myself.
Yeah.
Whoops. That's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Okay. Let me find it. I gotta dig through some files real quick.
Sure.
I'm adding sound to these, so they're not quite ready to give out yet, but they're pretty cool if I do say so myself. Okay. We'll start with third place. And there we go.
That's sick.
Hell yeah.
I like that. I see the 3 too.
Yeah, it's me. I made it out of 3s.
Yeah. Look at you.
Oh yeah.
Your own little typography.
Yeah, this is my typography entry.
Yeah.
Even though it took me like a month. And then we've got second place right there.
Ooh.
All icy.
Oh, I love that. I love the glow.
Mhm.
That's clean.
Hell yeah. And then we've got first place.
Ooh. It's not what I was not expecting it to take that turn. You would assume it'd be gold, right?
Mhm. I wanted to do something like glassy and like
Yeah.
like more
iridescent.
Iridescent, like mythical for the first place.
Mm,
So that's it.
amazing.
So first, second, and third get those prizes once I finish them, which
I love that.
which may be sometime soon, but also maybe never. So it's, the anticipation's part of the prize.
Yeah.
Okay, next up we've got, oh god, VZCEK. Vec. Zek.
Sounds right.
How do you pronounce names on stream, George? Do you have trouble with that as much as I do?
Yeah, usually I butcher it and then I ask them to help me out. And then if they're not there, no harm done. Right?
Yep, exactly. I just cross my fingers and hope that they're not here.
Yeah.
Okay, this one's called Alone. First letter of the orphan alphabet. Try and reach the sky. Try to catch back the childhood. Holy shit. I should partner with Vec to make an orphan alphabet.
That would be cool.
Oh, Vec is here. You're doing awesome. Thanks. Thank you. If you can type
There we
out a
go.
pronunciation, I won't keep butchering it, but let me know. I'll just call you V. How about that?
Ooh. Kind of match the theme of the single letters.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go.
I
Yeah.
think it's good. I think it does remind me of a children's book where it could be like a whole book of cut out different letters with different forms that make the shape of the thing.
It is very, very well made. I really appreciate the balloon fitting in that space to create the what would it be, the crossbar of the A.
Yep.
Really, really brilliant use of negative space, and yeah, it definitely fits the theme I think he's going for.
Yeah.
And you already know I'm a sucker for black and white design, so
Yeah.
black and white, nice touch.
Oh yeah. Pandering to the judge.
Yeah, for real. Really nice though. I don't have a whole lot to say about it. Like the shapes are nice. I think everything complements itself. The curves of the balloon and the curves of the figure holding it, I think match, and everything feels very smooth. Right?
Yeah. I agree. I think if we're dipping into criticism, I think that one thing is the visual weight could be more A-like. I don't know if that means a bigger balloon to fill this this top space of the A out, or if it means a little bit darker gray here, but it might also be good subtle like this. But to me, something about the black, the silhouette in the middle needs a bit more weight to it to match the outside of the A. Are you feeling the same, George, or am I off base?
No, I think if you're trying to get it to look more like an A, like resemble the overall form of it, I think that would make sense. I personally like how abstract it is, but it's still like, I don't think anyone would have a hard time deciphering this as being an A, right? So,
especially within context, if we are talking about a children's book.
So I really like that kind of that's one of my favorite parts about maybe like logo types, logo design, and just that type of stuff in general, is when something is just vague enough to where you have to do a little bit of figuring it out yourself, but 99% of the time you get it. I think that's kind of where the best logos come from, you know, right? Like FedEx or something. Like it takes a little moment where once you realize it, you'll never forget it.
Yep.
And that's how you make those logos memorable, right?
Yeah, 100%. I think that's a great point. Yeah. My man, V. Thank you. I checked the time wrong. I thought I had 20 minutes. Glad to hear those from you guys. Thank you so much. Your problem, or I mean, no problem, not your problem. That's a mix between you're welcome and no problem. Yeah, it's your problem, dude. So get bent. No, for real though. Thank you, V. I appreciate you entering, and this is a good piece. So I really appreciate it. Next up, we've got Grumpy Apes. Letter O for Oracle's Orb. Vision of the future. Bam.
Fair enough.
Letter O.
It is a letter O. It is a donut.
Looks like an eyeball.
Yeah.
Which plays on the Oracle's vision thing, huh?
Exactly, yeah. So conceptually, I think it's really cool. I like the, I guess, shapes and kind of movement that's going on in the areas where everything is purple. Not 100% convinced on the inside where it just kind of looks like a photo. And the colors are maybe not matching with that vibrant kind of punchy purple-esque quality to it. So like when I see this, I kind of think of something like almost like a dreamscape kind of thing. Or if you guys know Timbers, like, you know how all of the colors he uses are very punchy and they all kind of work well together.
Timbers? T-I-M?
Yeah, Timpers, the pixel artist.
Oh, yep. Yep.
Like that's kind of what I'm picturing, and I'm not getting that same kind of feel from this one because the background is very muted and almost washed out. Right?
I'm pulling up for chat. Timbers.
Oh, like that pink and blue one, like the planet, right? I think it's a planet. I'm looking on the stream right now.
Oh, this one? The FaZe Clan one?
Yeah. So you see, like, because I kind of looked at that circle and I immediately thought of like this eye, right? So it seems almost kind of more themed towards, what would it be, like ethereal kind of something that wouldn't exist in real life because of how bright it is, right? So I think if we're adding to that theme of like an oracle and like this magic orb, I would usually expect it not to be as kind of muted and faded out as it is here, right?
Yeah, 100%. And thanks for the prime, Ryan. Thank you very much, man. Yeah, George, I agree with you completely. I think that I love what's going on with, especially down in this zone on the bottom of the eye. What the dimension here, it looks actually ridged, like it looks it looks really good down here.
It does.
And I think that whether it was time or, you know, what have you, it does look like there's just kind of a photo overlaid on it, even though I can tell there's some distortion. But yeah, something, I think competing colors like in this orange would work nicely. It just needs to match the vibrancy of the rest of the piece.
100%.
Yeah, but I think it's really cool. It's a very nice object.
Yeah. Conceptually, very cool idea, and the abstract part of it, I think you hit that mark right. So just a little bit of compositing would fix it up. Otherwise, very good project, right?
For sure. I'm curious, how much 3D experience do you have, George?
Not a whole lot.
Yeah.
I've done some stuff sometimes, but I've maybe worked on like 3 projects where I've needed to use 3D.
Ah, I see. I don't know how you do the ridges and that like pattern texture in there, but especially the way that it blends into the center really does, all the lines radiating from it really does look like an iris.
Yeah, I agree.
It's
it
cool.
does. I don't know what the method is. To me, it maybe looks like pixel sorting in After Effects, so I don't even know if it is 3D.
Yeah.
But I could be totally off because I don't, like I said, I don't do 3D that often, so I don't really know what you have the capability of doing there, right?
Yeah. Fair enough. Either way, Grumpy, nice work. Thank you.
Thank you, Grumpy.
Big Grump. Get redeemed to highlight my message and said in. Get in? Is that the joke? or is it something else?
Huh?
I have the hardest time keeping up with chat sometimes, George.
Oh, me too.
It's
Hey,
so hard.
I'm no professional at this. By no means.
How have your streams been going, by the way?
They've been going all right. I haven't really done anything super amazing that I've streamed. I've kind of been just doing chill streams. Just came back from vacation, so I was this is my first week back. I was gone for 2 weeks. So I did a chill stream. I did a chill stream before I left, and I've been kind of stockpiling cool things that I can do, kind of like what you're doing today, right? Streams that would be a little bit more engaging, interesting than just hanging out and talking for 3 hours, right?
Yeah. So I hear you're trying to encroach on my art battle space, George.
Hey, designer battles and esports did it first, all right? We got esports battles dating back to like 2012, 2013, Yeah,
but
and we're taking our throne.
That's fair. But you gotta let me flex on myself.
No, it is really cool, and it's
making me
cool.
You're making me look like a fool in front of the chat, George. Now I look like an idiot.
It's super cool when things that are from other industries get applied into like upcoming industries, right?
Yeah.
Because even if it's been done before, and this is the same with like design in general, like logos and just design styles, even if it's been done somewhere else, as soon as you put it into a new market, it's completely like refreshing, right?
Yes.
So
100%.
I love seeing this, especially for the NFT space. I could not really name a single person that's doing this right now.
Hell yeah.
Right?
Perfect. Then
Yeah,
I
got
can
your back.
now I can become the most powerful of all streamers, and then take over the world. I think you're right though. You know Ludwig, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ludwig has his like streamer tips, and he calls it the yoink and twist, where you steal someone else's idea and just put your own little spin on it. And that's like where the best ideas are, just little iterations on stuff that's already working.
That's true. 100%. That's where because I made this tier list for
I saw that.
corporate rebrands. I've been posting it to TikTok. I've gotten I've just split it up into clips, but I've gotten well over like 1 million views.
Hell yeah,
on,
dude. That's
all those
awesome.
TikToks. And it was literally just because I'd been seeing tier lists all over my YouTube for just like random things. Like
Yeah.
even at 100 Thieves, like we do tier lists for just whatever, like anime tier list or Pokemon tier list.
Mhm.
And I just thought like there's not really that many that I've seen for design, and it might just be kind of fun to try it out.
Yeah.
Right. So it was the same idea. Take that tier list, figure out a way to make it more design friendly, and then just go from there.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great idea. It just popped into my head. I should hire people on Fiverr to make NFTs for me.
Whoa, I love that idea. I've wanted to do a Fiverr. That's how you know you've made it
Yeah.
in content creation, is when you make your first, like, I hired Fiverr people, right, to
Yeah.
do something.
It's so
And then
good.
that's like your first step.
Hell yeah. Well, maybe I'll hop on that. That sounds like fun.
Yeah. Hey,
Ah.
you could even do, if you want to steal one of my ideas, maybe a tier list for the different NFT platforms.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
super rare foundation, S tier, A tier,
Yeah.
F tier. You know,
We could do that. We could do collectibles. We could do. There's all sorts of things to rank.
collectibles tier list. Yeah,
All sorts of things to rank. Pickles, S tier.
yeah. That's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
Is because you could just pick. There's so many different things in the industry you work in
Mhm.
that you can just talk about
Yeah.
and have a fun discussion with. Yeah,
For sure.
super cool.
I love it, man. So much fun. I've been having a ball doing this, doing the whole stream. So
Yeah,
all sorts of
For
good
real.
stuff.
let's
But
get back into it.
back into it.
Yeah,
Thanks for going off on these little rabbit trails with me, George. I'm having
Absolutely.
a blast having you on today.
100%. Me too.
All right. We got we have Steen. Steen was the very first winner of the Thunderdome. Way
Ah,
back a month and a half ago.
Okay.
And this says Steen says using my font Vulcan. So I guess Steen made
Oh.
this font. And that's
Hey.
cool.
Coming from someone who's had to make fonts before,
Mm.
that's tough.
Dude.
And it looks very balanced. So
It is way harder than it it should be.
it took me I did 5 letters.
Mhm.
I think took me 3 months
Yeah,
or something like that.
that adds up.
Yeah. I know people that have spent years working on fonts.
Yep.
Sometimes like 10 plus years on a single font, right?
Only
It
to
gets
have it
really
downloaded for
complicated.
free.
I know, right? For real.
Yeah, fonts are a tough one because they're so time consuming and so much work goes into them. But
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll ever, because they're utilitarian, right? I don't know if they'll ever be like expected to pay like hundreds of dollars for a single typeface or whatever.
Yeah. You have to be very well known or have to create a typeface that is doing something that the other ones just don't accomplish.
Right.
And that's really tough with how many there are
It's
out there.
It's
now,
very
right?
hard.
But
Yeah. I think
if
that.
you
Oh, sorry. Go for it, man.
Oh, I was just gonna say, font foundries. If you find like a foundry that has typefaces that you really like, I always those ones look really great. The studios where it's an entire team of people that they literally just work on fonts and nothing else.
Mhm.
I think one of my favorite ones is like House Industries or something.
Yeah, House is really good.
Yeah.
They have a coffee table book that I regret not buying, but I saw it after they printed it and it's so beautiful.
Yeah, but it's companies like those that create where they specialize in that stuff, where they can make some money off of fonts
Mhm.
because they can create stuff that is exclusive, like nobody else has one that looks similar, right?
Yeah. 100%. I think that Steen's font here is awesome. Like you said, it's like pretty balanced. It looks unique. I haven't seen one like this. I would like Steen, if you want to send me this font, hit me up because I'll use it.
Yeah.
Um,
I like the hand-drawn quality to it.
mhm.
I wish there could maybe be some more relation to the background elements.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that maybe it's a heart, red, maybe blood, possibly.
Yeah, it looks like some sort of like liquid bubbles, but there's
Mhm.
some vaporwave grid reflections in here. It looks like so.
Yeah. So I'm not 100% what's going on in the background. It definitely feels like it's in the right direction of hitting that theme of
Mhm.
love, right? Um,
Blood.
yeah, I guess I can see the cells, like the little circles and everything. So
Oh,
yeah,
Steen was gonna share the full font. He's gonna share the font in the Discord. Hell yeah. And he's gonna NFT it with a commercial license. Dude, Steen, I'm
Ooh.
on that. I'll buy that.
Very
Let me know.
cool.
It's cool. Yeah, I really like I'm a sucker for this kind of like photocopier texture.
Mhm.
And so I think that's really cool. I think that, oh, fuck. Everything, no! My camera's so screwed up!
Oh god, what happened?
I'm gonna shoot anyway.
You gotta get rid of all of them.
First of aliens. That last one was a bullseye. Watch yourself. Wait. Steffi Crow. Wait. Okay, hold on. Am I supposed to have these? Ah! Okay. Now I think it'll be okay. Back into it.
There
Thank
we
you.
go.
Thank you, Steffi. Yeah, the crows outlasted everyone. I like it, Steen. I think it's good. I think that, yeah, like George was saying, I think a little something to make, I think it's cohesive, but I think there needs to be not a cutout, but maybe like a little bit of a space in the texture. So you see in the bottom right how this has less visual interest. The text would go much better over a space like that rather than sandwiched in between these two high contrast zones. That's just my first impression, but I like the style that you're going for.
Yeah. And I'll say this. So this contest is supposed to be about typography.
Mhm.
And if I'm looking at just the typography, I think the type itself is really well made. I was originally thinking in my head that this composition is maybe not especially exciting because it's kind of like relatively small type in the center. But
Mhm.
if we look at the composition of like the letter forms, something that I always keep in mind when I'm trying to search for good typefaces is that they don't copy paste elements. So
Mm.
like if you zoom in on the O or the V, you can tell that they're not just mirrored.
Yeah.
They have different qualities on like the edges and the roughness to it.
Mhm.
And when I see that, I immediately can tell that the person who made that typeface is they know what they're doing, right?
Mhm.
When it doesn't feel too robotic, or I know a lot of people who make quick typefaces, they will copy like as many of the elements from the previous letters as they can and just paste it into everything, right?
Yeah.
And or like for example the serifs. So
Mhm.
like if the serifs were exactly the same on like the L and the E, you'd be able to tell like that they were copy pasted, right? But obviously they're not.
Yeah.
So
That's a great point.
yeah, I really like that detail.
Steen says, I need to listen to this later, but thank you so much for the feedback. You got it, Steen. Yeah. I think the consensus is great work on the typeface, and maybe the pairing with the background needs a little work. But I think it's great, man, and I'm excited to see the. It looks like you have it on Instagram here, the typeface. But once you get it minted, let us all know and share it in the Discord. We'll hop on and snack that up. Next up,
Absolutely.
Josh Barron. I'm eating a
All right.
ziti to this.
Ooh, animation.
Josh with the ZD. Perfect. Okay. Is there sound? Let me pause
Yeah,
this.
there is. Oh, this is amazing.
Pop it open. Yeah, I was looking at this earlier.
Wow, that's really good.
It's so cool. And I had to make sure, right? I asked Josh, I'm like, did you make this for the battle? Because, like, if it was something you've been working on, then it doesn't necessarily count. But he said he did. So,
Yeah, it's really cool when I see stuff like this because I'm always an advocate for like animation since I do motion graphics that they don't have to be complicated. They
Mhm.
just have to feel like they're complicated, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of the animation that's happening in this is not really like that difficult. Like it wouldn't take that much time
Mhm.
to actually go about doing it, but it's all the effects coming together and just the flow of like I guess the narrative that you're creating, and all of that adds up to creating something that is just like visually appealing, even if it doesn't take that much time,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic point. And Josh said that he had 48 hours with no client work. So
Okay.
that makes sense. Yeah, I completely agree with George that it's not complicated, but the way it's very clean. And if you do something clean enough, it feels complicated. Like it feels elegant. And I think that that's exactly what you've got here, because the detail with the CRT curve on the entire thing,
Yeah.
where you can see it the most in this first frame here. And then
Yeah,
the
and something like that takes like 5 seconds to do in After Effects,
Mhm.
but it creates the entire concept that you're looking at like a screen,
Yes,
right?
100%. I don't, George, you can probably tell me about this. When this deletes, the random letters that come from the deletion is such a cool effect. Do you know how to do that?
I would hope that it's an expression.
Yeah.
I have kind of a similar one that I use to create like that typewriter effect where it just changes. Yeah, source text. Okay,
Mm.
so like text animator, offsetting the characters. So back in like when I first started doing motion design, I didn't really know anything about expressions
Mm.
and animators like that do it automatically, and I would literally just go in and add in letters.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. So,
It took forever. It's not worth it.
what do you, so someone like me who is doing stuff like that, where do you suggest I go to learn expressions and things that automate the process a little bit more?
Ooh, there's a book. I think it's literally called the Book of Expressions or something.
Okay.
Um, that one is kind of like a Bible
Mm.
for learning everything you need to know about expressions. Where I learned from people. So
Mm.
my friends Ross and Expect. Expect is working at a studio called Paper Crowns, and Ross is working at a studio called VBI, and they were total masters at expressions. Ross, especially, he would be able to create entire um, like brand systems without keyframing anything. Like it would just automatically do everything for him, and
That's
he'd be able to
crazy.
knock out full graphics in like 20 minutes
Holy.
because of his knowledge in that. Right? It's okay. So I found the book.
Okay.
It's called After Effects: The Power of Expression.
Okay. Can you link it in chat?
Sure. I'll just do
Perfect.
the first thing I see on Amazon. You might be able to find it cheaper. It's a the price might be off-putting, but it is a very heavy book. Like it will have everything you could possibly need
Yeah.
for expressions.
That's perfect. Dude, the here, I'll show you this.
Oh, you can get the ebook for $39. I linked that too.
Oh, that's not bad. This
Yeah.
is the best purchase I've ever made.
Ooh.
It's like $100 book, but it's just full of modern logos. And it's like, I call it the Bible because whenever I do a logo design, I go through and get some inspiration from here. But it's every page is like full of old modernist logos.
I think I remember seeing this book at my university.
You caught me with my pants
Crows
down,
are back.
George. Oh,
So
bullseye.
This just happens automatically.
Yeah. Bullseye, baby. Yes, it does.
You don't even have to like turn it on, or it's completely unexpected.
Yep.
You have to show me how to do that. That's so cool.
Yeah, we'll do. It's fairly easy once you get into it. But it's it makes life much easier.
Right.
And it switches back too. It switches back to whatever scene you want it to. So
That's so
it'll
cool.
just
And
run.
you have this figured out.
I've put a lot of
heck?
work in the last. So like the NFT market slowed down a little bit, and I'm like, okay, well now it's time to build a community. And so I started working really hard on the Discord and on this stream and all that good stuff.
Love it.
Oh yeah. Okay, thanks for this book, dude. And Josh, awesome work. I think
Amazing work.
I think it's incredible. I think you did a great job and absolutely killed it on this one.
100%. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Next up, we've got Visceral Suspicion. Pop this one up. There we go. It's called intro bang. Intro bang is a punctuation mark combining the question mark and the exclamation point, often used when asking a rhetorical question or for the added emphasis of an exclamatory sentence. Oh shit, there's a symbol for it. I didn't realize there was a Unicode for it.
Oh, I didn't even know this existed.
That's actually cool.
That is really cool.
The intro bang was invented in the 60s and never really caught on in common use, but it's a fun one. The illustration is a little creative thought vomit and my attempt to bring such a character to life. I love the concept behind this Visceral.
Yeah. This is fantastic.
It's so creative. This is the kind of stuff that I imagined when I said the prompt on Tuesday. I'm like, okay, so people are going to be drawing like letters in their style, or like, you know, like make actual letters, and they'll be a kind of a centered piece.
Yeah. I think everything is really cohesive. I mean, the illustration is great. I like the dotted texture being applied to basically everything, including the noise in the background. So everything feels right. I think that everything is working in this for me, other than maybe the composition, I guess, like the sizing and placement. So one thing I learned about that they taught me really early in design school is when you have a composition, to use the space to stretch beyond that composition, right? So when I look at these kind of lines that are waving outside towards the edges of the screen, it feels like an opportunity for some of those things to escape the page. And basically the idea is you're not really bound to your composition, and you can actually create the illusion that your design, that there's something beyond those edges, right? By having them stretch past the composition. And it seems like there's a lot of opportunity here for something like that to happen, where you can create an entire world outside of the space of that container through how you place things and have them stretch out. And right now it seems like everything's put in that container, right? To the point it almost feels like squished in maybe like a glass case or a container that's the exact size of the drawing, you know?
100%. I think that's the best piece of feedback that you could give, because I think the illustration is awesome. I like the idea. I like the flow of it. It's really cool. The idea that each of the question mark is a separate creature from the exclamation point. But yeah, what bothers me as well is that everything just barely touches the edge. And in photography, it's the same way. It's like you don't want like a lamppost coming out of the back of someone's head, or you don't want the headspace to be like right at the top of the camera. You want like a little breathing room. And so exactly what George is saying, even if you just took some of these tendrils and moved them out in a way that was engaging and had like a bit of motion, especially with these little yellow, they look like pollen bits or monster bits or eyes.
Yeah.
Use those to make a little bit more movement in the piece. I think those are some little tweaks that could really make a much more dynamic composition and feed into what you have going on here, which is already really great.
Yeah. And you can really play with the idea of depth and space, especially when we're working with digital graphics. So like the little pieces of pollen, what would it look like if we were to create a larger sense of depth, and there were some that were like right next to what would be like the camera lens and some that are really far away. And how can we make this feel like it's a world that we're looking into that has dimension, right?
Yeah. The Swiss modernists come to mind, and like Joseph Mueller-Brockmann, and like their use of the golden ratio in sizes of very basic shapes. If you applied that to some of the shapes in here, whether it's pollen or whatever, or other monsters or whatever you want to do, I think that would be a great.
That might be cool.
So it would put more of a designy aspect into the composition, which I think might work well for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But great work, Visceral. I think the illustration is awesome, and I think that you did it
100%.
actually on paper, right?
Oh, is it on paper?
Well, it looks scanned to me,
Yeah.
and then
it does a little bit.
Photoshop edited. Heck yeah, you did. Yeah, awesome. Great work. I think
That is amazing.
yeah, very cool. And thank you for putting so much time into it, colored digitally. Yeah, perfect.
Man.
Awesome.
It would take me a year to draw this.
I know, right? Dude, whenever I show people like logos or design work that I do, they're like, "Oh man, you must be like so good at drawing," or like, "You're so creative. Can you draw this for me?" I'm like, "I can't at all."
Absolutely not.
I can't. If you want me to do photo editing, I can do it, and I can do logos, but I've got that designer brain, not that painter brain.
Yeah. No, I'm the same way. 100%.
For sure. Okay, next up, Bitcoinski. Bitcoinski. This is an interesting one, George. This retrieves your TES profile name and then turns it into a 3D object using ASCII characters, which you can then rotate in 3D space. For the full screen, go to the hen profile. So this is a coded piece. I don't have my wallet attached. Oh, I have Watcher's wallet attached. I wonder if it'll work. It doesn't look like it's working. Is it working for you, George?
It's not working for me, but I also don't have a profile. So.
Well, look, the good thing Bitcoinski uploaded a video. Let's pop this open. So it's like a randomly generated 3D object made out of these characters. And it pulls from your wallet name, which is crazy.
That is really cool. I love seeing coded work. People have submitted coded stuff in some of my design competitions, and it's just like, it's beyond me, you know?
Yeah. I know, I don't get it. But here, let me link it to you guys and see if it hey, what up, wifey? Little Orphan Steph. It's my wife. Sorry, George. Hate to break it to you, dude, but I'm taken.
I respect it.
Bitcoinski, I think this is really cool. I really wish that it was working. I looked at it earlier on my laptop and it wasn't working for me there either. But I would assume that I'm doing something wrong, because I think someone a little bit further down the line said it was working for them. I think the idea is awesome, though.
Yeah. Someone just said it works, I think.
Cool. Works for Nanad. Worked for Sane. Awesome. Hell yeah. So I'll just go off. Let's just go off this video, George. And the video, I think it's cool. I think it's good. I like that it's interactable. Like you can rotate it and it pulls from your name. It's just a really great idea.
Yeah. Love the idea of it. I love black and white kinetic typography. It's probably one of my favorite kind of aesthetics for type. And it's cool that I know how limiting it is to code things. So it's cool to have this much customization. Like I could see this being used on a website like easily, you know? With the limitations of coding, it still looks visually very cool.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, 100%. And I'm really looking forward to seeing more art in the NFT space that is pulled from data that the user or that the purchaser provides. So whether it's a wallet address or like a random seed that creates the art or something like that, I think that's all really interesting that really can't be done with physical medium. So
Yeah.
okay, next up we've got Sane Genre. 3 is 3. Also Super Scissors, which still doesn't beat rock because nothing beats rock. I think that's true. Little hand illustration, shape of a 3. What is the... Oh, there's something that is like... If like the symbol is the same as the word, it's like called something. Do you know what that is, George?
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know the term for it either.
Yeah. It's something obscure, but it's like one of those fun party facts that you learn and then forget about.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. I think it's great, Sane, though. I think it's nice. It looks like you got some 80s vibe. I know you like those vibrant colors.
Yeah.
This
This
stippling
reminds
and
me
Procreate, maybe?
of like an art piece that you would see like from like a famous artist or something, like before digital art was even a thing. This I don't know why. I feel like I would see this in like a textbook for art history or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's very simple and has a very strong point and a very clear style to it.
Yeah.
It's like it knows what it wants to be, and it just is that.
Right.
Yeah. I like the composition too. I think that the hand bleeding off the side and the weight is correct.
Yeah.
Visually.
Yeah, I would say the proportions of everything, it feels right.
Yeah, because sometimes when you throw such vibrant colors in, it's really hard to get it weighted correctly visually, just because they're too shiny or something. I don't know what the mechanics behind it are, but this looks correct to me, and so nice job on that. And I like the sketchy style. It looks like a sticker at a skate shop, in the best way.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Yeah, great work, Sane.
If I would comment on anything that I would improve, but you know, art being as subjective as it is, it's kind of up to the person who created it. I would probably have used clean lines for the outline of the hand, just because everything else in the composition is also rounded. So like the circular shapes used to texture everything, the curves of the hands and the fingers, right? I feel like might help it match that theme. But I'm not really too bothered by it because of that reason, where it is really abstract, as opposed to some of the previous things we've looked at have been more of like designs. You know?
For sure. Yeah, I think that the line on the thumb here is the cleanest, and I want that to trade with the top here. It's I like the jagged stuff that you're doing, but maybe just a little bit less. Because it looks... Here's the thing. Okay, I figured it out. So the length, and they're all straight, makes it look very uniform around the outside of this. There's not much flow to the outline.
Oh yeah.
And so when you're painting, that's one of the biggest problems that I know I have, and I know I've seen other people have when they're painting, is they use the same brushstroke for everything because they're trying to get their value and their tone correct. But if you forego that and start just doing random stuff, it's much more cohesive, and the piece ends up looking a lot more natural. And so I think with your outline, that would be very helpful. Just get a little bit different length going in these.
No, that's great to keep in mind. I mean, coming from someone that doesn't really do illustration, that's not really the first thing that I think of, but I think I'm going to remember that.
There's a lot to learn from you, George.
Yeah.
There's a lot to learn. Masterclass in session.
Come on.
Great work, Sane. Thank you very much. Next up, we got Master Control Program. Big old MCP. Over the ages, numbers have evolved to become symbols. This is not of my MCP art project. This is a piece from, this piece is from my Dwayne's World project, where I make lo-fi sci-fi spacecraft and props from junk and dabble in stop motion as well. Okay. Hell yeah.
So if it's from a project, I'm assuming that means it was done in the past, right?
Yeah, probably.
So would it qualify? I don't really have the details on the project.
Dwayne's is in here. He says, sorry, I was tired when I wrote it. Dwayne, so this was from the past, or was this fresh for the Thunderdome?
We can look at it regardless.
Oh, yeah.
Because it is very cool. The aesthetic is very nice.
Oh, he says it's fresh.
Oh, okay.
But the prop is old, right? The prop had to be lying around, I think.
Oh, gotcha.
But then the composition and like the thought behind it is... No. It's cool. I like the aesthetic so much. Dude, what is that John Carpenter movie? Oh,
I don't know.
John Carpenter's first movie. I made it and the font all in the 48 hours. Whoa.
That's pretty impressive.
That's crazy, man. I love the hand movement.
Yeah, it is very cool.
Like
I mean, this is what I love about motion design, is you can really hold together your narrative or the story you're trying to create by having those like frames to work with. And like, I love seeing the dust and kind of film damage move, right? And the typography, the flashing, everything kind of comes together. It's very, very cool.
100%. Okay. I'm looking up this reference while we're talking on this. But Dark Star is John Carpenter's first movie, and it reminds me a lot of this. It's such a quirky, weird movie.
A new breed of pioneer must seek out unstable planets and destroy them.
Drive sequence begun. Hit it, Pinback.
Dwayne, you've seen it? Hell yeah. Yeah, Dark Star is great.
You are on the mission of the 21st century planet smashers. Dark Star. 20 years in space.
Anyways,
1 million light years.
Received the
we won't watch the entire thing, but if you guys are ever into a deep cut and you like John Carpenter movies, this is a must watch.
Those look really similar.
That's what my Dwayne's World art project is all about. Hell yeah, dude.
I wish I had more time.
That's awesome.
Because I must detonate.
I love that.
All right, I won't spoil the whole thing for her. Yeah, Dwayne, aka MCP. It's cool, man. I really like it.
I
And
love it.
It's very impressive, and it's different. Like, I don't know, that's really cool. It's even cooler that you're in chat here and said that you did it all in the 48 hours. That's nuts.
It is really awesome seeing like because I do portfolio reviews, but since I'm in the esports industry,
Mm,
the work I'm seeing today is a lot different than the work I would see on my own stream. Like I would
mm,
probably never see this submitted, right?
yeah. Yeah, for sure. That's just fun. I'm kind of speechless. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, I agree.
Error.
Really, really cool.
Yeah, nice job, Dwayne. Okay, next up we've got Xander. Okay, so Xander's taken home a prize before. I don't remember if Xander got first before. Made the font from scratch as well. Hell yeah, man. Great work. Okay. Oh wait, Xander usually writes something. Let me read this. What's in a letter? Q fragments containing some contrasting flashing frames. Fair warning. Epileptics, get bent. We're watching this. Turn away. Having a seizure. Seizuring intensifies. All right. Classic Xander. So Xander comes in every week. Everyone else is doing really like on prompt, typical stuff that you would expect, and Xander just busts in with an experimental film
Yeah.
every single week.
I love seeing the film,
Mhm.
the outside of the digital medium, right?
Yeah.
Seeing some of this stuff is really cool.
Hmm.
When it comes to the digital application afterwards, I like the narrative that's being created with the overlaying of these different effects. I do think some of them are maybe weaker than others.
Mm.
And the main thing to me that is maybe not tying everything in together is how clean some of the overlays are,
Yeah.
being that they are 100% digital versus some of the overlays which it seems like are also handmade, or they're like photos of things that are in the real world and things that have imperfections and texture to them, right? So like some of the iconography that gets overlaid on uh, feels maybe a little bit too clean, and then even the recording of the typewriter
Yeah.
looks like it was shot on like a nice, like relatively expensive camera or something with high resolution, right?
Hmm.
And I think it would be cool to really tie in the theme of it being like old school, almost like rustic,
Hmm.
um, by making things look a little bit shittier, you know? Like sometimes you just got to do that.
Hmm. That's fair. I think the main thing that stood out to me is just some of these scans. When you are extracting them, they have I don't know if this is on intentional or not, but it looks like you didn't completely go out and like cut out all of the things, because you see these glows around the letters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you left them on purpose. Okay, fair enough. Maybe that's just I don't know if a normal person would see that, but doing so much design work, that's the first thing that like stuck out to me. But like
Mhm.
this, like George was saying, like the in the A here and the rasterization on this text, if that was like vectorized and then gridded up or something, maybe it would fit a bit better.
Yeah. Or even at 10 seconds, there's like this set of icons that
Mm-hmm.
are very much so digital,
Mm.
you know?
Yep.
It almost feels like it's not meant to fit in that space.
Yeah.
Or it fits in that it's contributing to the narrative, but visually feels a little bit like it's not supposed to be there, right?
Mm-hmm. I got like a 1970s computer lab, like working on the first supercomputer vibe from this whole thing.
Yeah. And that's kind of the general idea, is when you create, especially almost like short films or designs like these
Mhm.
is you want to immerse the viewer in that narrative completely.
Yeah.
So that means like really every single detail should contribute to that story that you're trying to tell.
Yeah.
Um, which is kind of why I pointed out some of those instances where it maybe pulls the viewer out of that real world experience, that kind of gritty, rustic feeling, right?
I think this screen that I stopped on is an example of like one of the more successful overlays that I've seen in here, because it's clearly a scan from a paper printed item and it fits really well with everything. But then if you go back to the equation, where is it? It's just the rasterization looks strange. So if there's some way that you can process it so it looks like it's printed on paper, I think that could maybe help. Joshua says blur the sharpen. Yeah, you could add like a little Gaussian on there, or you can do some stuff in Photoshop.
A
But
little bit almost like simulating ink bleed or
Mhm.
something.
yeah, but Xander, I think it's cool, man. Great work. Great work.
100%.
Always coming through with something super unique, and I love that about Xander.
Yeah.
Next
Very, very cool.
up. Really appreciate the feedback. I agree. I didn't spend enough time on the digital elements. I forgot a folder of overlays. No worries, Xander. That's what the whole speed
all
challenge
about.
is about. So I just really appreciate you putting so much work in week after week and contributing so much to the Discord and the community and this stream. So thanks, man. Next up, we got Nanad, the semicolon. I remember when this got popular as a symbol of hope to those that were struggling. I was much younger back then, and who knew that I would remember it now as I have to fight. It strangely serves as a reminder to keep going, to look past my mistakes, however horrible they might be, for they are past. I focus on healing, observing the flow, just like the movement in the symbol. I keep going, reflecting, and pulling myself out of the dark tunnel, one letter at a time. Wow, Nanad, that's... I hope you're doing all right, man. Let me know if you're let me know if you need any help with anything, all right? This is a great message though. It's very hopeful. I don't
Very, very powerful.
I don't remember when this was a symbol of hope. Do you, George?
I don't either, but
Could be a regional thing or
yeah. Regardless though, the composition is very cool.
Yeah.
While you were reading that message, I was just kind of looking at the smaller details.
Mhm.
So like the semicolons in the corners, I think is nice. Is like
Yeah.
just tiny little anchors of that black, you know. The blurred typography in the center, super cool, and then that metallic look. There's a lot of nice contrasting textures. I like that all of the shapes being used have a different texture to them, but still feels very cohesive. So like there's kind of that gritty papers texture in the background of the white. Looks like the kind of black circle is just solid black, and then obviously the metallic semicolon. I think everything's kind of mixing together in the right way. The shapes look good. I like the incorporation of the circular element to complement the semicolon, right? Very nice.
I agree. I think it's so hard to make circles work with shapes sometimes. I know that because I'm sure you know, George, because when you try and make a logo, sometimes you're like, well, what if I cut it out of a circle? And then you try it and it's just complete. It just never works on the first try. And you always have to like mix and match it and stuff. So the fact that you got this to work over the circle is really, it shows a lot of, I don't know, maybe experience, maybe acumen, but at the very least an eye for the weight of everything, because there's a lot going on here and it feels very balanced. I like the details too, the blur on the text. I don't know, did you make this in 3D, Nanad, the colon?
It looks like it's more of just a smear. I don't know if it's 3D. It doesn't look like it.
Those are
Cinema 4D?
Cinema 4D. Wow.
Ah, very cool. Like I said, I don't know shit about 3D, so I guess I was wrong.
Welcome back, Rye. Yeah, I don't know either. I love I think it's a really solid composition and a really solid entry. I think it's hard to find
Yeah.
fault with anything going on here. I think it's very well done, and I really appreciate the write-up that you did with it too, Nanad.
I respect it.
Mm-hmm. Sad Cop would be a great album cover. That's a fact. It would be a good album cover. I really like these semicolons in the corner. And I like your restraint to not put them in every corner, because that's kind of the first place your mind goes, right? It's like, okay, what goes in every place? But
It is nice.
Mm-hmm. The balance with the asymmetry is really hard to do, and I think you nailed it, man. So great work. Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool. Next up, we've got Ryan. Which Ryan? I don't know. There's a billion of them.
Ryan squared.
Ryan Goldberg. Last interactive piece, and it snaps back. Oh, latest interactive piece. Okay, so we got another interactive from Ryan.
Oh.
There's a lot of Ryans. That's a fact. Let's close some of these bad boys out. Okay. It is interactable. Check.
Very dope. Again, have no idea how this works or how you would even begin to be able to do something like this on a website, especially if you don't own the website.
Mm-hmm. You upload like a packet, you upload like a file, like some sort of file that works like this, and I have no clue. Oh, okay. Ryan, this. Okay, so I was like, okay, this is good, but it's like missing something for me. And then I moved it like this, and see this notch in the top, George?
Yeah.
It needs more of that everywhere. It needs more, what dimension is that? Z dimension? Because if you look at it like this, it's just a rectangle. And then, but there's such a nice shape when you look at it on front. But if you, where the, on the front where it thins out, say on the
chisel
on the top here, the chisel, and where the tail of the ampersand meets the leg, if those like became thinner on the z-axis as well, I think it would be really helpful and make it a much more cohesive shape.
Yeah, this is very fun to play with. Just like spin it around.
Right? It is cool. I think the interactive art is crazy. It kind of boggles my mind, but
I'm like getting distracted right now.
Yeah. I like it. Oh, and the light is paired to the shape. So if you flip it around on the back, it'll look silhouetted, and it looks kind of cool like that.
This is cool.
Yeah. Great work, Ryan. I appreciate you doing all these interactive ones. I don't know how much harder it is for you, but it sure is fun to look at and to view. Yeah, I think more thinning and thickening of the z-axis would be my main thing. See how that works for you. But I think it's great.
Yeah, I don't really have any critiques. It's very straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can get artistic with it if you want. In my eyes, it's more just like an interactive experience. So maybe there's something there where in my eyes, it's not really super flashy, right? It's mostly just fun. So if that's your intention, I think it works.
Yeah. It's like an experiment rather, or like a little trinket.
Yeah. I can see this going a lot of different directions, but as it is right now, it's just very entertaining.
For sure. Good job, Ryan. Thank you. Next up, we have Sad Cop.
Let's see this. Oh my goodness, I love that.
listen to this sound a little bit closer.
Don't know how I feel about the sound. But the animation is so cool.
Yeah, the animation's really good. That's the one thing. I think the sound should be different. And
I'm
if
more
anything,
even thinking like
less
it's-
repetitive.
The sound is very silly and goofy, which I think is fine. I think that's a cool theme to go off of, is like making it silly. Or I think maybe if you were to do that, maybe even incorporating color, like a really bright, punchy color to match that fun. Like I'm kind of immediately thinking of like magenta, yellow, you know, the super fun, abstract, illustrative, vibrant colors that are really popular now. And then I'm also thinking for the sound effects, maybe this, in my eyes, I think the kind of slurping sound is cool. I'm more thinking the slap. It looks like the letters aren't making enough of an impact to make a sound like that, right?
Yeah.
Like that hitting sound, like that sounds like it's like just completely
Like, yeah,
smacking into the letter, right?
yeah, it's like a little intense for it.
Where these are almost more of like doing like a kind of like a sucking sound, you know, like they're getting attached to the letter,
Yeah.
right? Something like that.
Yeah, Sad Cop. What? Oh, does it say something? I didn't even try and read the letters. A
Just
B
ABC.
C D B C A. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, Sad Cop. I think the animation's awesome. Did a great job. One thing that would kind of take it to the next level, I agree with George, is like, okay, so if you're gonna stick with like the slurping and slapping sounds, tone them down a little bit or make it match the visuals. Right now, it's like the sound's going hard and it's really hitting, but the animation is pretty flowy. It's got those little snap points, but not nearly as much as the sounds make it seem like. And then what you could do to bring the visual up to that is add a paper texture and then add, like George said, maybe like a highlighter effect as like a second layer tilted off, and then add some like wiggle to it or something.
Yeah.
Or something to bring it a little bit more playfulness rather than stark white and stark black to mix. I think you're just trying to bridge the gap between the sound effects, which are great in their own vibe of themselves, and then the animation, which is great in its own vibe, but they're kind of on separate wavelengths. So if you can just make those a little bit more cohesive, I think you've got something fantastic here.
It's almost like, so something that I've kind of learned over the years doing design is it almost looks as if 95% of the effort was put in the hand-drawn animation, which turned out phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then like 1% in the color, 1% in the sound effect, like just kind of like little pieces here and there, right?
For sure.
And even if you have to, because working in esports, we'll have projects that are like, we need this in 20 minutes, you know?
Yep.
And my goal then is like, I can't put 95% into one aspect of what I'm creating. I've got to make everything 33, 33, 33, you know? And like the overall graphic is maybe weaker because of that, but as far as, or I guess it would be the opposite. So like the individual elements are a little bit weaker, but the overall graphic works well enough, right?
Yes. That's a great point.
Yeah.
And that's a great piece of advice for anyone doing stuff on a rushed time frame. I'm with you. I get asked to do stuff with an hour turnaround all the time. And you got to really figure out like, okay, it needs to be cohesive at the end. So what do I need to put my time into in each of these aspects to make it feel right, even though I don't have the time? I saw someone Joshua Barron suggested, or if some ink slapped off. That would be cool. That's a great idea.
That would be cool, but again, it would probably take even more time away. We probably wouldn't even have sound effects if they were to put that much effort into the
Yep,
ink splatters and things, right?
for
So
sure.
I respect this animation because, first of all, motion graphics, doing the organic kind of what is it? I'm losing the term for it, but when the letters kind of like pull back and they have like a bounce to them, right?
Oh,
That's really hard to do.
what is that
That
called?
kind of
It's like
like
rubber banding or like easing or
Yeah,
something.
something. I'm like totally blanking on the specific word. for it, but
Elasticity.
yeah, that's really, really hard to do. I have a hard time doing it in After Effects. Sometimes I just give up entirely. So I respect it. It looks very well made.
It's difficult, and George, you work in After Effects a lot, so that's saying something. Great work, Sad Cop. I think it's awesome. I really want to see you do a round 2 on this and mint it, because I think that it's nice. It's got a lot of potential. I think it's really cool. Great work. Next up, we've got Bailey Tattoo. Bailey, I'm happy to see Bailey enter. I don't know, is this your first time entering, Bailey? I know you're around and you watch the stream, but... And with the diamonds, Bailey usually does really dark, dark stuff.
I like this a lot.
It is cool. It's so simple and
I think
nice.
the immediate thing that probably you're thinking too is the rotation. In my mind, I really wanted to do a full
Yes.
360, like so bad. I know that probably makes it really hard for as far as like the model of the S, since this was done in 3D. But it would be very, very cool if it was possible. I'm sure it is.
It would be nice. And a little bit of easing so that it like spent more time where it was an S and then got a little bit time ramped when it was on the corners. But Ted likes it not spinning fully. Yeah, I think if it's going to do this, then maybe a little bit slower. I think what George is keying into, or at least what I'm keying into with riffing off of what George said, is that there's a tension in it, and it's such a beautiful object that I don't want the tension to be there. I want it to resolve rather than frenetically go back and forth. So either by speed or making it go all the way around.
Yeah.
But on the
in my eyes, when I think of a loop, because I love creating like seamless loops, that's like my only art series that I've ever done is based on creating seamless loops, right? And I try, even if it's not true, like sometimes loops when you do animation can be seen as a little bit lazy. So one thing, especially like in After Effects, if I see somebody do an opacity fade and it's not really done in the right moment, I can tell that it's done out of laziness because it doesn't take a lot of effort, right? And when I see animations that kind of do that motion where they reverse rather than do a full complete motion, gives off that kind of impression for me. Whether or not it's true or not, because obviously this model looks very complicated and it looks like there's a lot of effort put into it, but that's what makes it even tougher. Is when I see someone who can take it to the next level and they're able to do a full 360 and figure out that complication, the respect level like through the roof, you know?
Yeah. I think that would take this piece to the next level for sure. I saw that Bailey said the problem is that it shows a mirrored S. I think that you can fix that by adding some like front backflip motion into it. If you could figure out how to add more turns to it, there is a way to make it show 4 sides. You just might need to do an extra movement to make it fully loop.
And maybe it doesn't even matter if it's mirrored. If it does a full 360, like it'll get to its original spot. If you're talking about like when it gets to 180, it's reversed. You already have the context that it's an S. So maybe it doesn't matter once it goes back to its normal state, right?
Sorry, I just read it. Git said S for Soldier Boy.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know, but that's funny. Bailey, I think this is great. When we get into more nitpicky critiques, it's because the base piece is already looking very good, right? So if we're not critiquing your composition, things like that, the idea of it, then you've already have a solid base. And so I think we're just getting into some finer details if you want to iterate on it again. But I love the idea, and I want to play around with this shape in 3D because when it hits that 45 degrees, it looks so interesting.
It does.
It looks really cool. So great work, Bailey.
Yeah, I mean, looks phenomenal. Obviously, these critiques don't let it discount I very much so like this graphic. I think the negative space on the edges is perfect. The texture of the S, and then I appreciate the background being as neutral as it is to really let the type shine, right?
Yeah.
So
the background
literally shine. So
the background color is great because it's a really cool off-white, which pairs really nicely. Sometimes it's really easy to just type F and then just just fill it or drag it to the full corner, but you clearly put some effort into the tone of that as well, which is awesome. And thank you for doing a full piece. Last week, let me see if I can find it. Bailey made a joke entry and it was lewd.
Yeah?
Oh, it wasn't last week. It was last week was a one-on-one battle. Yeah, okay, here it is, George. This was for the fashion week. This is what Bailey
What the heck?
Bailey entered.
Unbelievable.
Hurtful. Provocative. Yeah,
I
that's
don't even know what to say.
nobody does. Weesh subbed. Thank you for the sub. Weesh. Weesh. 2 months in a row, baby. Okay. Oh, here's the shape. Here's the shape for Bailey's.
Weesh is the one who ended up buying our collaboration, right? Our project?
Weesh did buy ours, yeah.
Yeah. Weesh.
The goat.
I appreciate you.
I helped him out with the little project earlier. I'm excited for him to show us some more.
Ooh. Okay.
Weesh. All right. Designed by Jake. We're coming up on 151, so let's try and bust through. Oh, this is the last one.
Yeah.
It's the last one, and it's by Jake.
I was timing it in my head.
Perfect, dude.
I have it figured out.
Okay, this is from the type master himself, Jake. Designed by Jake. Had to go all out kinetic type fun with this one, seeing as it's typography week, and that's my thing. Couldn't miss it. I picked the word follow and created sequences that corresponded with the word, which then shows a journey of the type doing crazy shit. I put some of my own music and have been working. Oh, so you made the music too, Jake? Been working on it in the sequence to bring the vibes. Let's see some vibes right now. And I know, Jake, this is probably gonna bang.
It's very good.
Holy shit. Does it loop? Yeah, it does loop. All right, Jake. Well, nice work, man.
I mentioned earlier I love black and white kinetic typography.
Yeah.
And that's basically what this is.
I think we just got a hard W on at the end. Dude, okay, let me try and... The details in here, too. I want to try and catch this frame that, like, fractals out. This one. Look at that. That's so sick.
That is cool.
Whoa. True Noir ass starts twerking out of nowhere. Yeah, right? It's almost automatic. And Jake made this song, probably not within the 48 hours, but
Hopefully.
if you did, then crazy.
It'll be next level.
No problem, Jake. I'm glad you got it in, man. took you 2 hours. 2 hours? That's it?
That's fair. If you know how to animate typography, you can get it done pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
George, do you want to battle Jake?
absolutely not.
No.
I wouldn't stand a chance.
Really?
I don't know.
That would be such a hype Thunderdome. You versus Jake, 3 hours to make a piece.
Oh man, I don't do great under pressure. I really gotta let the mind get to work. When I get rushed into, especially animation, I'm like,
Yeah.
I forget everything, right?
That's fair. I can respect that.
But I might be down. That might be kind of cool.
Yeah. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it afterwards. It could be fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jake, this is crazy, man. I think it's really good. Dwayne says I was up for 28 hours straight. Fuck, dude. I don't know what to say. That is here. Let's put on the music. Now, George.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do? Wait. Here. What am I gonna do? I've got the BitConnect guy on my soundboard.
Oh, there we go.
What are we gonna do? How are we gonna pick a winner?
Man, I'm gonna be honest. I was not expecting the quality of this content. Like, I figured it would be like, all right, yeah, for a second, maybe third place would be tough, but
right.
I've been making a list off to the side, and I have 5 or 6 names of people that I really like their work. If we do a top 3, maybe we do top 3 and then a shout out, honorable mention, or honorable mentions.
We can do that. How about you've got them written down, right? So let's give me the top 6. We'll put them up on the monitor, and then we'll slowly kill people's hopes and dreams as we eliminate to the final 3 and then the top 1.
Oh man, that's tough.
Yeah. But it's also enjoyable. Have you ever been a mod on like I guess in like Twitch chat and stuff? It's just it just feels good to like click heads.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Fair enough. I respect it.
Okay. What's the first one, George? What do we got?
The first one I have is actually, let me mix these up because I had these in order of my favorites.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just gonna pick a random one, and if we go all the way back to the top, I really liked Josh Barron's.
Yep. That was on my list as well.
Josh Barron, Bitcoin Ski.
I'm going to try and pop them open real quick. Wait, how do I
Actually, I'll just do these in the order that they're on Discord, that they're posted.
Yes, that would be perfect. How do I pop out copy link here? Okay. No. I want to pop this out in my browser. Open link, and then it just tells me to save it. Okay. Maybe we can't do this. Okay, so we've got...
Okay.
I don't know how to pop this out in a browser window.
Oh, I've got no idea.
Does anyone in chat know how to... I am not going to lemonparty.net.
Oh, God.
That is not the solution. That's not the solution. How do you... click on the... It doesn't give you that option for videos, Xander. It just pops it out. You can download it, or you can open a link, but that makes you download it. Okay. Either way, let's just let's go through them. What you got, George?
Okay, I'm gonna go top down.
Okay.
So the first one I saw was Josh Barron, right?
Yep.
Next one, Visceral Suspicion. Really like that one, hand drawn.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Bitcoinski, decoded, very nice. The idea is very cool. I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
Master Control Program. That one is also very cool. The film.
Yep.
And then, am I missing someone? Did I say? Oh man. Oh. Okay.
Josh.
Bailey
Bailey. Okay.
with the S. I still think is very cool.
Yeah.
And designed by Jake. That's my top 6.
Perfect. I put Pepe's on them to mark the rarest of Pepe's. Okay, here, maybe this will help narrow it down a little bit. Let me give you what I had for matching picks of mine. Josh was a matching pick for me.
Okay, Josh is okay. Josh Barron.
Yeah, Josh Barron. Jake, and then Master Control.
Okay.
And then I agree with your other picks for sure. I think Visceral did a great job as well.
Just I
I
love
think Bailey did a good job.
everything that came together with that illustration as far as the idea, and is very out there as far as a symbol.
Yeah.
You know, I loved a lot of parts about that one.
Yeah. Oh, this is the hardest part. Here, George, I'll show you this.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get
This
into
is
it
how I
because
feel
they
when
would
I have to
never
pick the
understand.
winner.
Hey, that's how I feel too. It's tough.
Yeah. I wish I could add you on that camera. We could both just be there in pain together.
Okay.
So who do we eliminate? Let's do it that way. Let's start clicking heads. Let's start bopping them.
I almost feel worse doing eliminations.
We shouldn't have started with top 6 then.
I know, right? Let me come up with my top 3 first, and then we can do like America's Got Talent style and just start like listing off the names.
Okay.
Who's making it? Who's not making it?
Yeah. Here's if you ever want to say something really harsh, write it to me in chat, and I'll put on my Bo Borfin glasses. And this allows me to never be held accountable for any of my actions. I now am a different person.
Unbelievable.
And I can say whatever I would like.
I love all these props that you have for your stream. Seriously.
Thanks, man.
That is amazing. Okay.
I'm just trying not to get canceled.
Fair enough. I think I have my list.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never
How am I going to do
understand.
this? Is this only up to me, or are we doing this together?
We're doing it together. I'm just fucking around right now with the Bo Borfin glasses. Okay, let's say on the count of 3. No, that doesn't work.
Would we go maybe 1 elimination each? That sounds so
Nah.
That sounds so bad.
I think it's fair to say that Designed by Jake is safe in the top 3.
Okay. Yeah.
You think that's fair?
He's in my top 3.
Okay.
Maybe we should just do a 3-2-1.
That's what I was thinking, but then... And say who our favorite one is?
No, like 3rd place, 2nd place, 1st place.
Oh.
And then out of that list of 6, that way you'll know if you didn't make the cut. You don't have to be like publicly shouted out that you're off the list, though. You know?
You can just assume the worst at that point.
Yeah. So let's do that. We'll start 3rd, 2nd, 1st place.
But what if we say different names?
Maybe we'll just have. Let's list our top 3 and then we can have a discussion about it.
Okay.
Maybe
Let's
change
do
our
that.
minds.
That's a great idea. Let's do that.
Yeah,
Piano
we'll have a
Death.
little debate.
Thanks for the follow, by the way. Yeah, let's do that. I'll say my top 3 first, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. My top 3 is Jake.
Jake for 3?
For first.
For first. Okay.
I think Jake killed it. I think that Master Control should get second because it's the more unique piece, one of the more unique pieces I've ever seen entered. And that could just be because I'm doing it week in and week out. It has less to do with typography, but it's very cool. And on coolness factor, I think it deserves a second. And then I think third, Visceral Suspicion. And Josh. Like those, that's kind of tied. Fuck! Oh my god, I didn't reload my gun. I got up close and personal with those fucking crows. I only had one bullet in my gun, so I had to use my tactical moves on it.
Yeah. I respect it.
Yeah, so tied for third, Josh and Visceral, which I know does not help us. Second place, Master Control, Dwayne, and then third place, or first place, Jake.
Okay. Well, I was hoping our lists would match up and we wouldn't have to do this. But my list is different.
Okay, what you got?
So, in third place,
Yeah.
I also had been leaning between Josh and Visceral Suspicion.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up leaning more towards Josh Barron's project just because of the overall cohesion. So Visceral, fantastic project, loved the story and everything about it, but
you're dead. You're dead to us.
but we did have like critiques for it. You know, we thought of things that like ways it could be improved, whereas for Josh's all around, I was thoroughly satisfied with like how it turned out as an entire piece.
Yeah.
Right. So I favored it more towards Josh, but I would also agree like third and fourth place, it's tough to choose, right? So
Yeah.
if I had to pick one, it would be Josh, but they're like so close together. It's either one's fine.
Cool.
Second place, I had Designed by Jake.
Okay.
I love the typography, the animation. Overall, is very solid. I think like aesthetically, it was very pleasing too.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the effects, I don't really know if they were effects that I would use, but I'll leave that up to like, you know, it's his artwork, it's his decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that being said, Master Control Program, just because in my eyes, it seems one of a kind, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I would, maybe you see this more because you're more into like art like this, but for me,
Sorry, George. Now I'm loaded though.
now you're ready.
So I can sit here and still talk.
Wow.
No. George.
What just happened? What's going on?
I'm undercover now, dude. They can't hit. They can't.
Unbelievable.
they-
What?
they
What
can't-
even is that?
They can't attack me if I'm one of their own.
What is that supposed to be?
It's a chicken head. If I blend in with them, there's no
Looks
way.
like a squid.
It's not a squid. It's a chicken. The
All right, but yeah, that's my list. So
Yeah.
third place, Josh, Designed by Jake. Second place, still phenomenal project.
Yeah.
And Master Control Program, I just put the edge over just because one of a kind, super unique, everything worked together. I still saw it as being related to typography because they were literally typing.
You're right.
So
I thought about that when I played it over again. I'm like, I don't know what else this is about if it's not about typography. It's not about like letters and stuff.
I thought that fit.
Oh my.
For me. Yeah.
Okay.
That's my list.
George, I think we're really close. We're on close to the same page. And see, look, the crows don't even notice that I'm here. They don't even notice me anymore. All I have to do is just not react to them.
I can't believe this.
So, George.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say that Bailey here, and I'm gonna play the rip music for everyone. Bailey is eliminated. We're sorry, Bailey. You did great work. I'm gonna say that Visceral, you're eliminated. I'm so sorry.
But very close. You'll be 4th place.
Very close. And then who else was up on their top 6? It's Koinski. We are not sorry. Get bent. Kick rocks. Goodbye. And thank you. Oh, I'm stuck. We gotta go back. I need a drum roll sound effect. Okay. So that means, and I think we agree on this, 3rd place is Josh Barron.
Yeah.
Josh, congrats. 3rd place, my dude. Okay, hear it.
Congratulations.
The most serious part of the stream, and they're now deciding to kill me over and over again. Here. You think they'll notice if a crow with a gun? Guys, stop doing the crow cam. We need to. This is serious. We need to get. We need to get our business done. 2nd place. Okay, so it's a 1-2 toss-up between Jake and Master Control. And honestly, if I'm being completely frank here, George, you sold me.
Yeah.
I think Master Control. Plus, in the chat, he said he worked. He like stayed up all night making it. I love the Dark Star reference. I love even more that I caught it. I caught the vibe,
True.
and then he was all about it, and so that makes me feel important. So I think.
And he made the type too.
He made
I remember him saying that. He
Yeah.
made the font.
He made the font in here. He made the props. He did the animation. Like this is your winner right now.
Yeah.
Thunderdome people. The winner is. Brian's dying. The winner is Master Control Program, aka Dwayne's World, aka whatever else he goes by. Congrats, my dude. And then Jake with the big number 2.
Congratulations, Jake. I'm almost scared because you did want us to do a little battle. I feel like he's gonna be out to get me.
He might. I would just sleep with like some tripwires, some like old Campbell's soup cans strung around your bedroom.
You almost had me sold, Jake. All right. You know I love black and white. I know you did your research.
It was good too.
And it is very, very good. You hit all the marks.
It just needed that it factor that the 70s retro puppet stop motion typing hand just had. It just had an it factor.
Yeah.
But
this
yeah,
was all
Ryan,
phenomenal, though.
100%. Dude, George, I'm with you, and every week I feel the same way. It's like, the quality of work's insane.
Yeah.
It's incredible. So, great work, everyone. Thank you so much,
shocked.
George, for being here. Thank you for helping me judge. Thank you for all of your great
100%.
feedback. You're a very, very talented critiquer. Or
Please.
I don't want to say critic, but you have very constructive criticism, which is an incredible talent.
Hey, I can say the same to you. I think we make a great team, and I would love to do more stuff like this with you.
I was gonna say the same thing, dude. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to talk. I'm trying to have a discussion and fight crows at the same time. That's the one downside of having the automation is you can't just like turn it off.
Oh, but that's what makes it great.
That's what great for them. A
I will
living hell
say
for me.
this, though. I love the dynamic you have on your stream. I would love to see you do like one day like a takeover of my stream. So I can have you on
Yeah.
and I want you to like I'll give you my OBS or something and let you just decide what happens for that stream for everything.
That would be fun.
I would love to do this because this was really, really entertaining. You have a talent for this kind of creation, content creation like this, and doing all this live. So
Thanks,
it was very cool to experience it live.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate it.
Yeah, 100%.
I appreciate it, and I think we should definitely do some more stuff, whatever it looks like. Whether it's a stream takeover, whether it's we pair up for an NFT tier list. Could be a nice, simple, easy thing to do. But let's chat about it after. Let's chat about it after this, and then get the people some juicy, sweet content. And hey, guys. Make sure to smash that motherfucking like button, right? Make sure to go to George's page. George, link your socials. Do your plug.
Oh, yeah, sure. So you can find me pretty much everywhere at Nowack Design. I'm mainly active on Twitter, but I'm also live on Twitch every Saturday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, excluding this weekend because I will be gone. But you can find me YouTube, Twitter, TikTok as of recently, Twitch, LinkedIn, whatever you feel like.
Connected.
Kind of up to you. Yeah.
This man's got connections.
100%.
Is
You can find me.
Zoom in. Are you a Zoomer, George?
I'm 22.
That's
I don't know
that's
where
a
that
Zoomer.
puts me.
That's a Zoomer.
Is that true?
I
Born
think-
in 98.
I think so. I don't know what the cutoff is.
I definitely would not really consider myself a 90s kid.
That's fair. I wouldn't consider myself an 80s kid either,
Yeah.
even though I was at the end of it. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, do you have any projects you want to promote? Anything you want to plug?
Not necessarily anything for projects. I don't have anything too crazy going on, but if you want to support my YouTube, that would mean a lot for me. I'm trying to grow that, and if I hit 10,000 subscribers, my boss said he'll buy me a new desk. So,
That's not how bosses are supposed to act.
yeah, I'm trying to get that done. I don't know.
That's so funny to me.
He's a nice guy. I wanted a standing desk, and he's really so. His name is Sesso. He also creates content. He has 200,000 subscribers, and he wants to have an esports content creator buddy.
Yeah.
So he's been trying to push me to make more stuff. So
Okay. Dude,
YouTube is the move.
how do you only have 3,000 subscribers? Your content is so good. Your videos are awesome.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Really just trying to be patient, build. I know how this stuff works. Like I had a YouTube channel when I was an editor. I used to edit montages for like Call of Duty and stuff. Different content. I think I got to about 9,000. It took like 4 years.
Wow.
And now I'm kind of resetting. Now I do design education. So I guess I probably should have said that. If you want to learn about design, I teach design psychology and reasoning for design, branding, stuff like that. Really get you to understand your work. If you're an artist and you want to understand the work you create on a more personal level, I might be able to help with that too. So
For sure.
that's my plug. That's what I got.
And I can vouch. I think your channel is great, and you're clearly putting a lot of work to do very distilled content. A lot of people put their content up and it's kind of rambly, and it like a 10-minute video that doesn't need to be a 10-minute video. And the videos where you're just having fun are a bit longer, but your lesson videos and your critique videos and stuff, they're very concise, and I think that's probably indicative of how good a designer you are. It's kind of that mindset, right? Packaging everything down. So
Yeah, that's not gonna lie, that's kind of why the algorithm is not hit for me, since YouTube favors those long videos, but in my eyes, I'm trying to get the content out there as fast as possible. So like Sesso, my boss, he makes the 12-minute videos. I'm not making 3-minute videos. YouTube only cares about watch time. So it doesn't matter that they watch 100% of my video and 50% of the other video. They'll still see it as amount of minutes watched, right?
oh, okay.
It is what it is.
That's a bummer, dude. because
It kind of is. That's what pushed.
not
'cause
everyone has
animators-
hours to watch YouTube, you know.
Exactly. And like literally if you were in YouTube a long time ago, like when it first started, it was full of animators
Yeah.
and people that did like all sorts of illustration, stop motion, animation, but that stuff takes time,
Right.
you know?
Good
And
luck
lot
doing a
of people's-
10-minute animation every week.
Yeah, a lot of people's animations were like a minute long and that was their video, and it would be impossible to grow
Yeah.
because of that, right? So everyone moved over to TikTok, and now TikTok is full of illustrators, animators, and stuff like that.
I'll have to look into TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm young enough to do TikTok.
I thought the same because even though I'm 22, like these people,
It still
a lot of
seems too
people-
old.
yeah, a lot of people are like in high school trying to figure out if they even like design in the first place, and it's a different crowd, it's a different audience.
Yeah.
Maybe even a more hateful audience. There's some pretty ruthless people out there, especially the younger ones. But it's fun. You find new people and lead people to your work. And honestly, my TikTok has helped my YouTube grow more than anything, more than YouTube itself.
Really?
So,
Okay.
yeah, it might be worth looking into.
Yeah, I might have to
But-
pick your brain sometime on that. That's all
Hey.
super interesting.
Let's call. You figure out how to get my Twitch to look as cool as yours, and I'll tell you all about the YouTube algorithm and stuff like that.
It's a deal. It's a deal. We got it. All right. Thanks. Thanks again, man. Something that I've got to plug real quick is
Go for it.
Saturday. We're doing Saturday for the boys, and we have that's at noon PST, 3 EST, and that would be math 9 CEST. So for the European bros. Who we're talking with? We're talking with Atomic Form. They're making NFT verified displays. So the display itself verifies that you own it because you connect the wallet to the display. And so it will only display things that you own, which is pretty
That's
cool.
So smart.
Yeah. And
Love that.
I don't know if I can say, but I know they have other products coming that aren't a $1,300 display. So very cool. We're going to pick their brain about what the future may hold for displaying the art that you're buying, that you're picking up, and all those pickles that you're trying to farm, right?
Right.
So
Absolutely.
that's pretty much it. So we'll see you there. Congrats to the winners, and that's it. That's all. Catch you guys later.
Cool. See you later, everyone.
See ya.
Thank you.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your company and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.